Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick video on the front suspension on the 1190R. Anyone who's got this bike and knows how to change the suspension, this video is not for you. It's just a basic overview of how to change the compression, rebound, preload on the front, and then I can go through the rear on the shock as well. So on the R, it's all manually adjustable using old-fashioned mechanical bits and pieces, including your fingers and your hands. On the S, it's all electronic. But we've got an R here today, so let's go through. I learned how to do this not that long ago. So I was riding around with whatever settings the bike came with for a long time. And I wasn't really sure what it was that I was running, whether it was more of a comfort setup, a sports setup. I didn't really know. The bike, obviously, it's quite heavy. It suffers from its weight when you really brake hard. You know, it's quite a soft front end. A lot of people have said over the years with these bikes, they do have quite a lot of dive on the brakes initially. And I've always thought that as well. So what I did yesterday, I found in the manual how to adjust it. I set everything to comfort. I wasn't sure exactly where mine was, but what I'm going to do now is just run through with you guys how you get it to a comfort setting and how you then go to the standard setting or the sport setting or full payload setting. So if you've got an S or you've seen the S, you'll know you go through the toggles and you go to suspension and you say one up with gear, two people with gear, and it's just changing all the suspension settings electronically instead of you having to get off and do it yourself. But I don't mind that, it doesn't take long. Anyway, so how to adjust the compression damping of the fork. So what you do is you turn the white adjusting screw here with COM written on it for compression. You turn that all the way clockwise, and it goes in kind of sections in threes, so you'll hear it just clicking. So you turn that all the way clockwise, and what that's going to do is going to close it. So it's on the last one, doesn't want to go anymore. Okay, so what do you do next? Adjusting screw 1, what we're doing, the white turning. What we're doing is adjusting screw 1, written COM. It says COMP, but it doesn't. It says COM. In the manual it says COMP, it doesn't. But it's the white one on the left. So turn it counterclockwise now. So you've turned it all the way clockwise, you turn it anti-clockwise, the number of clicks corresponding to what you want. So you can have comfort, which is 17 clicks, standard, which is 12 clicks, or sport, which is 7 clicks. Full payload is the same, it's 7 clicks as well. And that's for the compression. So as I say, I had it in comfort yesterday, put it in comfort, ridden it today. You know, sort of did some heavy braking, let's say from a certain speed a couple of times just to get a reference. So that's in comfort. I know that it's really quite soft. So I'm going to change it today. I'm going to change it this morning to sport. So I'm going to go 7 clicks. So anti-clockwise, 7 clicks. I'm going to count that as 1, even though it didn't do a full one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then it's the same thing on the right hand side with the rebound, the red one on the right hand side. So turn it all the way clockwise. You'll hear it clicking through. You just keep going until it doesn't want to go anymore, and it's the same number of clicks. So to come back, that's it, that's at the end. Comfort, anti-clockwise 17, standard 12 clicks, sport and full payload both 7. So we've gone compression 7 to bring it to sport. We're going to do the same with rebound. I'm going to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've adjusted the compression and the rebound, but we can also use this, which you get in your toolkit. If anyone has this bike and wondered what the 24mm piece is for, you've also got the 32mm piece, which, as you'll know, is for the rear axle nut. But the 24, you think, oh, maybe that's for the front. No, it's not. Well, what's it for then? It's exactly for this job. So let's go through. So what we do now is we want to adjust the preload. Now you've got to be careful here. You've got to remember which way round you're going, because it's the opposite of what we were just doing. So you turn these screws that this fits on here, on both sides. And to start off, you turn these screws counterclockwise all the way. So it might be easier if I just get off and do this. So, and this was set into comfort mode. So it was probably all the way reading through. No, it wouldn't have been. It would have just been a couple of turns. So we're going anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, all the way. And once we've done that, it says as well, information, make sure that the same adjustments are done to both fork legs. So on the right hand side, I've got the workshop manual. What I'm reading from there on my phone, that's the workshop manual for the bike. So you'll notice that with me turning the preload, obviously the rebound and compression dials are being moved with or by this preload adjuster, but they're not moving, they're not clicking, they're staying in place, they're just being moved by the same piece, so don't worry about that. Okay, so turn clockwise now, which is obviously the opposite of what we were doing to adjust the other pieces. Turn clockwise by the number of turns, so turns not clicks, corresponding to the fork type. So comfort is 2 turns, so 2 full rotations. Start there, do 1 turn, get back to there, do another one. That's 2 for comfort, 5 for standard, 5 for sport, but 8 for a full payload, it says. Turn clockwise to increase the spring preload. Turn counterclockwise to reduce the spring preload. Adjusting the spring preload has no influence on the absorption settings of the rebound damping. Basically, however, it says, you should set the rebound damping higher with a higher spring preload. That's just what I'm just reading that from the manual there. There's one last step once we've done this as well. You'll notice that you've got these Phillips screws on the top of each leg. They're to bleed the screws. So what you do there is, obviously with it on the center stand, you release those screws, you just unscrew them. And what you might hear is, I did these yesterday. You know when you open a tin of tuna and you get that kind of hiss sometimes? Basically it's just that, it's just the pressure. You're just releasing that. Any excess, it says here, so any excess pressure escapes from the interior of the fork, then tighten the bleeder screws back down again. Yeah, they're a nice sort of steel screw, so you shouldn't round them, but you know, make sure you are being quite forceful with the pressure downways there. Don't strip them, because bloody hell, bad times. So, as I was saying, we are now going to go clockwise by the number of turns. So how many turns? Well, I'm going to go sport, so I'm going to go 5 turns for preload of the fork. I think they're the same each side, aren't they? Clicks to turns, yeah. So number of turns, preload adjuster, it's the same for both legs. So I'm going to go 5 turns on each. I'm going to do compression first. Now I can't quite get this done in one. So I'm just going to have to remember. So that's 1. Let's call that 1. Take it to there. Take it to there. Start again. Okay, one face there, let's call that 2.5. 3.5. 4.5. 5. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here, clockwise. Oop. Half. One and a half. 2, time check. 11 minutes, not good. And a half. 3.5. 4.5. 5. Right, so that's us set to sport on the front now. As I said earlier, I set the front and rear to comfort. So I'm just going to stop this video now and I'm going to do the rear high speed, low speed compression and preload for the rear shock in the next video. So 1 second, I shall pause this and come back to you.